to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. The Mbeere North by-election is proving to be a very delicate survival line for the UDA luminaries in the region. Gachagua reception today, days after Deep State and the state mounted their campaigns there, continues to prove that the UDA candidate is still trailing behind the DP candidate. And in this podcast, I will explain why the trial and error tactic, the deep state that has mounted its machinery in Mbeere North, might actually be shocked of the outcome of that election, because it seems that it is a do or die for William Ruto to get that Mbeere North seat back to the UDA party. And really, very latest intel shows that the DP Democratic Party candidate Newton Karish is ahead of the UDA candidate. Kindly subscribe to channel, click the notification bell and like our videos. And I was just doing my weekly assessment of the channel, and I want to say big congratulations. Thank you very much to Team US. Today is check here, 16th of November. And just for the last 16 days of this month, I've seen tremendous growth from our viewers from US who are subscribing. So almost, I think, to around 19% subscription rate has increased. So kindly subscribe, because here we do in-depth analysis and we serve politics in its best deep texture. Recently, one leader from Mbeere North said and called out Cecil Mbeere, because allegedly Cecil Mbeere, the Embu governor, went to campaign in Mbeere North and was asking locals to support the UDA candidate so that they don't shame her while she is the UDA chairperson.
Juzi wewe nimekusikia ukisema ati ukiambia watu wa Mbeere North wachague candidate wa UDA sababu wewe ni chairman wa UDA, ati sababu wasipomchagua watakuaibisha, ati siku hizi hawezi kula, ati kama chairman wahakikisha wamekuchagulia candidate, ati ndio usitolewe kama chair wa UDA. Kwani nyinyi ambao watu mnasema 2 term, kwani Ruto amewapatia nini mpaka akili zenu ni kama siku hizi hazifanyi kazi? Kwani mnabeba watu wa mlima aje? Yani ukifanya hesabu ya kucampaign, hata hakuna mahali unaambia watu wa Mbeere North chagueni leo sababu anaweza kuwa mbunge mzuri wa kuwafanyia kazi. Wewe, the only reason as to why unataka watu wachague leo ni usitolewe kama UDA chair, ni usiaibishwe nyumbani, ati ni sababu hata kukula huwezi kula. Please says. Nyinyi na hiyo battalion yenu ya 2 term, tafadhali patieni watu wa mlima heshima. Yani wewe hakuna mahali unafanyia watu wa Mbeere North hesabu. Mimi nimekuwa disappointed, na kama hii ndio lot ya governor, wanawake wenye wanafaa kuinspire our girls wakuwe governors, hata muna end up kuharibia.
I don't know whether the Mbeere North residents are supposed to vote because Karinda, not Karinda, I don't want to use that name. I don't know whether it is a name or it is some sijui kama ni matusi or something, or Cecil Mbeere, Governor Cecil Mbeere is a UDA chairperson. And I think I understand that if they lose that seat and it's a UDA chairperson, of course, it's going to be subject to a very big interpretations. The campaigns have been spearheaded by civil servants, including Ruto. Even at one point, when you look at what was happening there, most government employees from Mbeere North in parastatals and other government offices have been notified and given compulsory leave to go home and campaign for the UDA candidate in Mbeere North. That shows you the level of desperation, and that's why you're seeing several leaders from Embu have been dispatched in that area. There was even a video of Dennis Itumbi witnessed. They've been giving money, some cash. Dennis Itumbi even donated Sukuma Wiki for some locals there. And you may really admire how Rigathi Gachagua is destroying state machinery deployed in that by-election.
Sasa nikuulize, huyu Karinda anaambia Kasongo, hii watu ya Mbeere walikataa kunichagua kama gavana. Watajua mimi ndio gavana wa Embu, watachagua huyu Muthende, wapende wasipende. Karinda aende asiende? Apotee asipotee? Amepotea? Sasa mimi nimekuja tuliagana na nyinyi. Mkule pesa ya Kasongo, mkule ya Soprano, mkule ya Karinda, mkule ya Roko, lakini kura yote ni ya Newton. Harambe! Tuliagana mkikula pesa nikuja nifunge hoteli. Tufunge hoteli ama tugoje kidogo? Mimi nataka tufanye public participation. Uchaguzi ni ya 27. Nyinyi watu ya Mbeere, ninyi mtaniambia. Hii hoteli mnataka tufunge leo ama mbele? Wangapi wanasema tufunge hoteli leo? Watu ya Mbeere, kuna pahali ilikuwa naitwa Kipipiri mwaka wa 1994. Huyu Moi alikuwa rais, akaenda pale, akapatia watu pesa, akaleta kikigi ya stima, akatuma mawaziri, akatuma MPS, akatuma Karinda wake wa siku hiyo. Hao watu ya Kipipiri wakakula pesa yote, alafu pale mwisho wakafunga hoteli. Huyu mtu ya Moi akapata kula 1,000, mtu ya Democratic Party akapata 30,000. Tunaomba watu ya Mbeere North mufanyie Kasongo vile watu ya Kipipiri walifanyia Moi.
Really, it begs so many questions in terms of why it is a do and die for the president. Look at this photo. And I captured it in one of the Facebook pages of one of the leaders from Embu. If you look at this caravan, caravan here, you may not know who is the candidate. Jina the candidate, that Leo guy his only name is written there. But the photos that have been used is that of Ruto and Kindiki. What am I saying? The two-term team, in fact, the by-election has been hijacked by people who they are not really interested. Probably the intel is telling Deep State that they cannot win that seat. Their candidate is trailing and they have the burden of incumbency and so many things. And so many boxes are unticked for them. But they've hijacked that campaign simply to sell the two-term. And when you look at, when you listen to the speeches of those who are purporting to be campaigning for the UDA candidate, they're campaigning for William Ruto's re-election than even that candidate. And that's one of the challenges that political observers from Embu are saying, that's one of the disadvantage of the Odour candidate, because those who are supposed to campaign for him, they're not telling the people where they need to vote him to have the MP. They're actually talking about the president. Now, so today, Rigathi Gachagua pitched tent there. Something very, to me, a very shameful act was put there. I remember before Rigathi went, there is a video, probably some deep state people recorded, I don't want to say deep state, some state players recorded some young people that were threatening Rigathi Gachagua that we don't want to see you in Kenya, we don't want to see you in Mbeere North. But Rigathi went. I remember this in the same video, some people even saying, don't come here with Dorcas, Pastor Dorcas. And that was the video that Moses Kure was reacting about. They were saying, we don't want to see Rigathi Gachagua there. So Rigathi Gachagua went to that, to Mbeere North, even against all those things that were being said. And as a statement from Newton Kariuki, this is the Democratic Party candidate in that place, it is very evident that the state was in panic of the presence of Rigathi.
That the government is determined to stop us, but we are determined to move to the end of this race and make sure that we win this election. As we stand here, there is every presence of police officers here at Kanywambora. The field that we are supposed to use, they have already occupied it. And they are determined to stop us. We are not going to use it. Number two, as we stand here, some 3 kilometers from this place, the government is dishing out money, 1,000 per every youth, to make sure that they disrupt our rally. And ironically, yesterday, the governor went to write a statement that, in fact, we are the ones who are planning to stop this rally. How could we have stopped our own rally? Surely. But we are saying this. They may employ all unorthodox means, but that is not going to stop us from taking this seat. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now, after this church service, they literally staged a relay of shame. The united opposition led by Gachagua, Kalonzo and Eugene addressed the team mobilized crowds. So the addresses a crowd, then leaves, making stopovers from one place to the other. And immediately after they leave, a cabinet secretary, Ruto, rolls in a convoy of luxury vehicles and a small army of police to dish out some 500 bob to anyone within the reach. This was done repeatedly in Kanywambora and Kavua. But I want to show you the crowds. The crowds in Kanywambora. This was the crowd in Kanywambora. Very huge turnout. Another place that they also visited was Ishara. And this was the crowd in Ishara. Of course, contrary to the government, the opposition do not have much of that money to dish. And they rely on the organic crowds. I want to believe that because there is a lot of presence of the state there, they would have exposed to us if the Rigathi team were using money to mobilize the people. And I want to pose a question to the people of Embu. At this point, you have a cabinet secretary, you have Ruku appointment occasioned a by-election. The Rigathi team are telling you guys, vote in Newton Karish to show Ruto a lesson. William Ruto team are also telling you, vote in Leo, I think Leonard Madaenge or someone, so that you stamp his authority in Mount Kenya. I don't know what will be the deciding factor, because listening to both the opposition and the government side, no one is explaining to the people why they needed to vote that MP. No one is explaining that. Everyone is pulling his political string. But I want to look at something here. In this rally, Rigathi Gachagua and Kalonzo addressed a rally in Ishara. Here.
Rais wa aina gani ambaye anaamrisha watoto wapigwe risasi miguu? Huyo ni rais ama ni njambazi? Ni rais ama ni njambazi? Na sisi tunasema tutampiga risasi sisi watu wa Mbeere North tarehe 27 kwa kumchagua kwa risasi moja Karish, ndio Ruto atatemeke mahali yuko.
Wale wako na mtoto moja wawili, wale wachanga waingie kwa laini saa 10 wafunge laini. Wazee na wamama wote waingie saa 11. Vijana wote ikifunguliwa kituo, our young men between the age of 13 to 35 ndio watapiga kura ya kwanza. Wakishamaliza kupiga kura, walinde wazee na wamama wapige kura yao. Neguo. Alafu vijana wote between the age of 18 to 35 wabaki nje ya polling station mpaka jioni wakichunga kura ya Newton Karisi. Kiongozi ameongea hajaongea? Ni amri si amri? Mutatii amri ya kiongozi wenu? Mutashindwa kulinda kura yenu? Imwana cia Mbeere mwekua? Nimukugitira kura? Nimukugitira kura? Nimugaikara gituo-ini mugitira kura cianyu? Na guku Mbeere North gutire mundu utari wa guku urenda gukonekana guku. Guku andu aria marendekana muthenya wa githurano ni andu a Mbeere North turanithwa guikithia kura na presiding officer na thigari. Hata machief wapige kura waende nyumbani, si ndio?
After this, UDA vehicle, which was trailing Rigathi Gachagua convoy, made its way to this center, and it was rejected, and they were chased. Yeah. So you see why that strategy of, you want to neutralize. And I think IBC has regulations. They are the people that normally regulate how people are campaigning. And if a candidate is in place A, then the candidate is normally advised to go to another place. So what happened in Ijara during this campaign is not something, it's something that is even against the regulations of the IBC. But of course, I will be demanding so much if I'm seated here thinking that IBC can reprimand the campaign, the state candidate for that seat. I think I will be demanding much from a team. I will be demanding something that really is far-fetched. I'm realizing there are some 4 notable blunders of what is happening in Mbeere North by-election, and this is contributing to the UDA candidate trailing the opposition candidate. I was looking some statistics was showing that of course the UDA candidate is trailing the other person. Hijacking that by-election to try to pursue the total. That is why, why do you think William Ruto needs that seat? He needs that seat because it is the place to launch Mount Kenya return. I can tell you a small section, not that it is supposed to be used for perception of politics for Mount Kenya. Either for Mount Kenya East is with William Ruto or Mount Kenya still with William Ruto. And they will stop at nothing. I really hope that, and that's why I agree when the team was saying, and the team was saying they must protect their votes, because the state, William Ruto wants that by-election, wants to use that by-election to try to stamp back his authority. Now, the first blunder is planting that totem. Number two, Cecil Mbeere got less votes in Mbeere North. And when I listen to the local political observers, they are saying that he's trying to plant an ally for 2027. Now, the blunder here is William Ruto, depending on leaders who have burden of incumbency. A sitting governor cannot be popular. Just the same way the president is not popular in the country. Even Cecil Mbeere is not very popular in Mbeere North. So what is most likely going to happen here is one of the challenges why they are really struggling and they're very desperate about it is Cecil Mbeere has interest of getting someone who can get a vote and probably also want to test her popularity. The other third mistake is state machinery. People know it. People know that when you use police, use the money and all that, it is a playbook that was used back then. But probably our leaders still stick to it. But that is a blunder on my end. Thank you.